personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. This morning it is myself, Mr. Matthew Deering, and I'm here hanging out with my cousin, my bro, our producer, Mr. Joey Sweeney.
What up, what up, what up?
So it's going to be a great show, I got to tell you. So today we want to talk about courage, and specifically the courage it takes to act. And we're an acting studio, so obviously we're talking about acting. But it's so much more than that. Our slogan has been since day one, act with passion. It's Deering Acting Studio, act with passion. And now since then, we've added a few things, and we've added different words that mean something to us. We've got passion, love, mastery. That's a big part of who we are. And listen, choose, be. Those are some important terms that we worked through as well. But this idea of act with passion, to be an actor who acts with passion. And what does that mean? That means to give your all, to go for it, to be fully in, absolutely engaged in the activity. And so we've seen it. We can feel it. They're the actors that hit the stage, and they're all in. They give everything they have, their entire body, mind, spirit. And you can the room can feel it. It's like this sense of like, whoa, like that person's putting their all out there. And then there are the people who play it safe. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, because you might be on your journey to figuring out how to be free. But we teach consistently on this principle that I believe in so much, which is we want to try to become comfortable in the uncomfortable. We want to push ourselves to this place where we are moving forward. So beyond acting, the Deering Acting Studio is founded on the principles of professional development, personal development, the idea of always being in a state of progress. We've wanted to be helping people since day one. Since this studio first opened, the idea was to help people better their lives and to use acting to do that thing. And, the people who ended up becoming famous actors or come in as famous actors, like the acting part of it, that's great. But the idea here is this craft of acting is a perfect parallel to life. And when you realize that you come to these classes, you get involved in our studio, and it's so much more than an acting class.
Yes. Yeah, it's a community. It's a family. It's it becomes something that's like sacred to a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think part of that thing that makes it sacred is, yes, the community, yes, the family, but it's this intangible thing that you're getting from the inside, and you know it. And it doesn't have to do with your performance that week. It doesn't have to do with the fact that you're putting on your Instagram that you had an audition. It's that when you leave here each week, you got a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know that you took action.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're talking about the courage to act. And I always immediately go from acting beyond acting, or from beyond acting and then we come back to acting. But the idea here is the courage to act is really to take action. It's not just acting as a craft, as a stage performance or film performance, but this is act like to act in life. And once people realize that they are the star of their own movie, they're the star of their own play, and they're the playwright. that becomes this huge, monumental responsibility. And it's either going to be super exciting for you or so scary that you're going to pretend like it's not true, but it is true. So if your movie's no good, if you've got a leading character that people don't want to follow, you need to take a hard look at you, because you're the star of the film. And if you don't like what's coming, you don't like what the next chapter of this story looks like, then you got to take a hard look at you. You got to take a hard look at the writer, which is you, because you're setting the foundation for tomorrow, the foundation for next year, next week. And so what are you telling yourself? And then from what you're telling yourself, are you actually doing it, or are you talking about it?
I think that's a powerful thing, the difference between actually doing it and talking about it.
Yeah. It's because there's this idea of I've got a dream in my head, and I'm like, hey, here's my dream, and this is the thing I'm gonna do, and we see this a lot in the acting industry, but I'm sure that's just because we're in the acting industry. I'll bet you everybody sees this in their own industry, which is these stars in their eyes, and people, I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna become this thing, these big dreamers, but they don't back it up with action.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought is always start with action, then if you must, follow it up with words. But don't start with the words. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Let me figure out what you're doing and get curious and ask you about it. And then you tell me, and you're like, yeah, actually, I've been doing that for 6 months. That, to me, is interesting. The idea of talking about your dream and using words, but you didn't get up this morning and do it. I can't back that up. You need to be honest with who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. Because if you don't take accountability for you, for your actions or lack of actions, then you're never going to get to where you want to be. You're always going to be living this little lie inside your own heart as far as like what you think you're doing. And you're always going to tell yourself you're doing more than you are, but you're really not. So how do we do this? I think it starts off with Joey's.
I'm fiddling with this light over here because
Is the camera on? You got to put the camera on you because it's hilarious here. I don't know.
I don't know if they can see the
light.
Light.
Show them the light. Like move it over to the camera. There's this lamp that we have. It's like from the Jetsons here.
Yeah.
It's a space age lamp. And to Joey's credit here, he's got me. He's the producer, so he's got me lit like gangbusters. I've got 17 lights on me. And he's over there by the soundboard, and he's like, I'll just take the lamp.
I'll just take the lamp.
So he's trying to get the lamp situated just right so his lighting looks good. And you see him he looks like one of those, one of those people from an older movie where you're trying to fix the antenna on the TV to get reception.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? At least you're taking action on trying to light yourself better.
Yeah, I got tired of the shadows. Living in the shadows.
Oh, dude. Okay. Now, if you weren't the one telling such a great joke, that would have been a great job for one of those drum rim deals.
It's just called the drum shot now.
Great. We're gonna go with that. Perfect. So, so here we go. So we're talking about taking action in your own life. Where does it start? It starts from purpose. You've got to have a purpose. You have to know your why. What is behind the reason why you're going to get up? If you don't have a strong why, you're not going to do it. So you create a strong why. From there, you build into this big, grandiose dream. You need to dream big. It's important to dream huge because you're probably going to accomplish 3/4 of your dream. So why not dream bigger? Go gangbusters with your dream. Then from there, though, you need to set goals. So you have to set tangible goals along the way to this big grandiose dream that you have. And then from your goals, you have to take action. You have to have the courage to take action. The very first step is usually the hardest. We've heard, and we've said this time and again here on the show, so many people sign up for the class and they sit out in the parking lot and they usually come in, but they have the hardest time getting out of the car and taking the first step. And I get it. This place is really cool. I mean, I would be I've told Shay, we got to fix some things in our marketing because I would be intimidated by our place if I wasn't a part of it. I would look at this place and I would be like, this place is too cool for me. Really. I mean, that's the way I feel. I mean, I feel so lucky to be a part of this place that I think if I looked at it, I'd be like, oh, man. I mean, I would be terrified to walk in the door. So I totally get that. But once you take that first step, that giant leap to walk into the door here, your life is forever changed. And it's a very exciting thing, but you have to take the first step.
Yeah.
So you have the courage to take action. Well, where does courage come from? I like this idea of you cannot have courage without first having fear. If the fear doesn't exist, then you weren't that courageous to take action because you didn't overcome anything. It's not interesting. So if you're not going after something that's making you a little bit scared, then don't say you're being courageous. You used to be courageous, but now you've gotten over that thing. So from now on, to walk into the door, once you've walked into the door here, that didn't take courage anymore. Now what takes courage? Maybe it's trying out that new accent. Maybe it's, taking on a script that challenges you or scares you. Maybe it's auditioning for an agency. Maybe it's auditioning for a movie. Maybe it's just putting yourself out there. Maybe it is literally asking that girl out on a date. It takes courage if you're not afraid of it, there's nothing courageous about it. So you look at the fear, you understand that the fear exists, and without the fear, you're not being courageous. So when you see the fear, the courage is having the willingness to take action anyway, even though you're afraid. We talked about this on the Day of Rest episode.
It was 2 days ago.
A couple days ago, and we talked about just having for me, it was actually having the courage to trust my wife, to trust the Lord, to trust my prayer life, and take a day off. That actually took courage, believe it or not.
Yeah.
For me.
100p.
Because what am I saying to myself? I'm saying, I believe that you can do this, Matt. You can take a full day off and you're going to be better for it. I had to have faith to take that step and be willing to take action in that thing. So courage comes in all different sizes and shapes, and it doesn't matter where you are in life. The question is, are you today looking to better yourself? Are you looking to overcome some kind of challenge that scares you? And I believe that this is where a lot of us fail, and I know this is where I've failed many times in my life before I really had my big awakening. I would be doing things, and I would take action, but it was really for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I hadn't started from my purpose. I hadn't started from my why. So I'm doing the action, but I'm not getting anything from it, or not as much as I should be getting from it, because I'm just doing it because somebody's telling me to do it.
Yeah.
Going to class and getting a good grade and doing some of these things, they're awesome if you're doing it for the right reason. But if you're not doing it for the right reason, then you're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And don't kid yourself and say you're progressing, because you actually aren't.
Yeah.
You're just maintaining and potentially going backwards.
For sure. And even if like it's something where somebody didn't necessarily tell you to do something, but you're doing it because you want the recognition for it, that falls under the same boat. It's like it's only good if you have the right why behind it. So you really have to think like why am I doing this? And I find myself asking that question a couple times a day nowadays, just to keep self in check, thinking like, okay, if I have an impulse to do something, okay, why am I having that impulse? Is it a good thing? Is it going to be a bad thing? If it's a bad thing, why did I want to do it? Where did it come from? And then you sort of get to the root of these things, so you're starting to make better decisions which allow you to better yourself.
Absolutely. That's very well said. And so I want to address this issue. We hear a lot, people question and ask us, how do I know if it's right for me? If this particular action, to take action, why are you laughing? Is that because we hear that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like one of those questions where I feel like a lot of people can relate.
Yeah. How do I know that it's right for me? How do I know that I should be taking this action? Like, how do I know that it's a good thing? Because here's the truth. Like, there's courage and then there's stupidity. Because like I just said, to overcome your fear is courageous. Without the fear, there is no courage. But I could be afraid of walking in front of a moving car, and it's not necessarily courageous to walk in front of the car. That's just stupid. So how do I know that it's right for me, the action that I'm going to take? And I think it all comes back to that purpose. Does it align with my purpose, what I want to be doing with my life, and why I want to be doing it?
Yeah.
That is essential. I also want to say, there's been a lot of things recently where, I'm gonna just date the show, which I don't normally do, but we're in the year 2020. So I'm assuming people are going to be watching this 10 years from now. And so in the year 2020, there was all these things that were happening. We had this big coronavirus pandemic. We've had protests for social justice. There's been all sorts of scares. We're in the middle of a major political unease.
All sports are gone.
It's a strange time here, this beginning of 2020, and we're all navigating this thing together, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's been this happened at our studio last night. We got some news about something, and so we just like turned and went, psh, and we took action immediately.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was like all cylinders in the engine are firing, and we're going boom, 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 and we crushed. And I told you guys at the end of the day, I was really, really proud of our team, the way we were able to absorb knowledge, turn, make a decision, and then act.
Yep.
Great. But then I had this other realization. And this is where my messed up mind works, Joey. And I say messed up because I love taking the compliment, and I did take the compliment. Yesterday I was like, dude, you're a good CEO. I don't know that fit. Like, that was off.
That should have been the cheers.
That did nothing but like really back down. It was the cheers. Okay, so when I said I'm a good CEO, I was gonna be like, yeah. The crowd wasn't 100% sure. They hesitated, and then they were like, yeah, we'll cheer.
I had the drum roll on because you were about to drop the info, but then I hit that button instead of the cheers button, even though I was thinking cheers.
So the thing about sound effects, we're going to have a whole episode on this. Really,
Yay!
Ideally, the sound effects should enhance the show, not stop somebody in the middle of their inspirational speech.
Oh, for sure. And I get that. Yeah.
All right, so going back, okay, enough about sound effects. Let's talk about me, huh? No, for real. So I looked at myself and I'm like, dude, you've been strong recently, and I gave myself that win. I told myself, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I'm not bragging. I'm looking at it going, there's been several hard decisions, and even if I look at our social media from the week before coronavirus came out to now, and I haven't, it's been a few months now, right? 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I look at what we've done, the choices we've made, the footage we've put out, the things that I've said and done, and I did them first before I said them. I'm really proud of it because it was like it was hard. It still is hard, but those decisions are really tough. And so last night I was realizing that the movement, the action that we took was extraordinary. But in some ways, that action is actually easier. And I'll tell you why. It's because there was an urgency behind it. There was something that we felt, boom, this is an urgent matter. Therefore, let's take urgent action. And we all went together as a team. We all grabbed a paddle and we rowed in the same direction, and we got somewhere really, really fast.
Yeah.
And efficient, and we crushed it. And then I'm going, we accomplished, and I started like listing off, like, wow, here's what we did in an hour and a half. And then I'm going, we're capable of that, and we don't do it every day. Slap in my face. And that comes back to that idea of, dude, I'm proud of everything we do.
Yeah.
But I'm never going to say I did my best because I didn't.
Yeah.
Not yet. And I probably never will because I'm not Jesus Christ who walked on this earth and knows what that is. I don't know what perfection is. I've never met it. So I look at what we accomplished yesterday and I'm like, okay, this goes back to my example of you can get more done in an hour of really purposeful, focused work, especially when you have a team like-minded who is all driving toward the same purpose. I mean, you can go so much further in just 1 hour than you used to in a week.
Yeah.
And this is when we go in and we consult for businesses, and we have to talk about how are you spending your time? What do your business meetings look like?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest with where your time is going. And you even had this conversation with our team just yesterday morning when we had we had a great marketing meeting, and I think it was great because it was efficient.
Yeah.
But you mentioned, you go, you know what? I got to get back on scheduling. That's what you said. And you're like, I need to be accountable for my time. And you kind of went through this thing, and you're like, this is what we've been doing. And yeah, I've done a lot, but honestly, where's my time going?
Yeah.
That's huge. I mean, for anybody to have that kind of self-realization and own it is like, I mean, that's a big deal, and it's inspirational. Like it inspires the rest of the team to go, oh yeah, same thing, me too.
Well, it came from you. I mean, you're the one that obviously instilled that into me and into our team, is the importance of scheduling your time. So it's one of those things where it's hard to do and it gets off, and once you get off, it's hard to get back on again. But it's always been one of those things where once I understood it, once I saw the impact that it makes, of course, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do it, you should do it. And it'll be helpful for you as long as, same idea, you are really thinking ahead and you're going, okay, what are the things that need to get done? Why do I need to do them? Why am I doing them?
Sure. And if you haven't written it down,
yeah,
if you haven't written out the plan and you don't have a very specific success plan for yourself for the week, you won't follow the plan because you don't have one.
Yeah. You'll be scattered.
You'll be scattered. And then you're going to tell yourself this lie. And we lie to ourselves constantly. So I'm going to look you right in the face, whoever's watching right now. I'm going to tell you you're a liar. It just didn't hit.
I thought it would.
No,
I thought it was going to be cool. Dang it.
We're going to do an episode on sound effects, and it's going to be good.
Maybe I just need new sound effects.
Probably.
Maybe my sound effects
you know what else you got to practice? You don't practice the sound effects. I told you this.
True.
So your practice is live on the show, and then when it doesn't hit and we bring attention to it, then you feel bad. And it's like, don't feel bad, but just get better.
No, I don't feel bad. I just suck at it.
You used to, though. I mean, you used to get offended by it. Okay, you're a liar. Back to that. You're a liar, Joey. I'm a liar. We lie to ourselves, and we tell ourselves these things. Now, the key is to catch ourselves in the lie because you're going to keep doing it. I'm sorry, you're going to. But catch yourself in the lie, correct yourself, ask for help, bring it to somebody's attention who you trust, and that's how you can get over that thing. But we tell ourselves all these things. We tell ourselves lies like we're not good enough, we don't have a chance, we've done this or this, like this is so bad, I can't, I blah, 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 blah. There are a bunch of lies. We lie to ourselves constantly. And then we lie to ourselves in the other direction where we beef up our own ego. And that's the stuff where you say, well, I tried my best. No, you didn't. Stop saying that. You say to yourself, I did the best I could. No, you didn't. Stop saying that. Stop it. Stop saying it's your fault. Like, take accountability. It's your fault. It's okay, but it's your fault. You say to yourself, I'm really good at this thing. I'm so good at this thing. Well, as soon as you say that, you're going to stop progressing in that thing. You can say you're competent in this thing. You can say that you feel like really skillful in this thing, but don't rest on it and go like, well, I'm done with that. Like, I'm already good with this thing, so therefore I don't need to grow in it. Just yesterday, Joey looked at me and he's like, Matt, make sure you're staying on task because we got this new thing in the mail. We're very excited that we got a new speaker system and mixer to go with the speakers, and we're testing some things out, but really it's just to enhance the experience of the students here because we're combining the virtual and in-person classes, and it's unprecedented what we're doing, so we're dealing with new challenges that we are overcoming. And so the mixer comes in, and we've got 2 mixers over here. We just bought a new mixer to go with the 2 we already have. And I'm sitting here and I'm reading the owner's manual, and Joey looks at me and he's like, why are you doing that? And I was like, dude, because we got 2 mixers that I bought the wrong ones in the past, and I never utilized them to their full extent because I didn't understand it and I didn't take the time to learn. So now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take action. I'm going to have the courage to say, I'm not good at mixers. I'm good enough to get the speakers to work. I'm good enough to connect it to the computer. A little bit of trial and error, I can figure it out, but I don't really know it. That's on me. And I said, this time, I'm not going to invest money in something that I'm not going to learn, that I'm not going to really put the time in to understand so that I can utilize it to its full extent. That got me excited about reading the owner's manual. So I did. I read it. Now I got to go in and I got to go to the next step, and I got to read online about all the advanced features and what is this thing capable of doing? Because if I can figure it out, I can take action in this area. Then all of a sudden, something that would normally take a lot of time might not anymore, because we create some sort of a preset that I would have not known existed for years.
Mm-hmm.
And whose fault is that? It's mine. So let me take full accountability. Let me take action. Let me be courageous enough to admit that I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And that, again, that's what I think courage is. It's instead of being overly confident, it's be underconfident in a positive way. Like, I don't think you should be not confident as a person, but I think that you just steer so far away from arrogance and ego. God bless you, Joey.
I muted my mic.
And really, God bless everyone. And just be so adverse to that you're always finding a way to get better. It's okay to say, I know how to do it, like I'm capable, but also, could it be better? You better understand it can be.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it can be better. There could be a nicer cord we could buy.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a this. There could be a that. There could be something I don't even know exists. And it's not even my responsibility to figure it out every time, but just to acknowledge that probably it could be better. Probably. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
As long as I'm open to that, I'm not going to come in with overconfidence and come in with an arrogance of I already know, because there's really nothing, in my opinion, that is less attractive than I already know. Oh, I know. We see it in class a lot. I'll give a critique of somebody, and literally they just did the thing, and I'm saying, oh, okay, well, so, and I'm being usually kind, so I'm going, all right, so here's, we want to work on this thing, and I get I know. It's like, You don't know, or I wouldn't be critiquing you on it. So stop saying you know, just be quiet, absorb the information, and then try to get better. But by you saying I know or going then you're not receiving the information. I guarantee it. You're just deflecting, and so you're therefore not progressing. You're not moving forward. Dude, I got so much more on this topic. I feel like we've been talking for a while, but I want to keep going here.
Yeah, it's a great topic, and I bet you feel that way because I have not said much. So it's like a one-man show over there.
Well, this is Mornings with Matt and Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. You know, like, here's the deal, dude. I expect, and I'm telling you this, and I'll say this live on the air, I expect you to get better every day at producing. I expect you to tell me after the show, Matt, I failed miserably this morning. I'm sorry. I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better in this area, in this area, in this area. Please help me. I'm humble enough to know that I don't know what I don't know, and I want your opinion instead of you trying to figure it out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to know that I can trust you to be doing that day in and day out so that I can do what I do, which is I prepare my thoughts and words so I have something to share on the show. And ideally, I can inspire you during this, and you don't have to do that work. You just get to be my sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to throw in things, and you get to, inspire and be inspired, etc., because that's really going to be your place here. Unless you wanted this part, unless you wanted this part of the job, then you would do it. But what I'm saying is, like, you've got a very, very specific and important responsibility and job.
Yeah.
That is as important or more important than my job, because without your job, my job doesn't it doesn't exist.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I fully expect this to be the case. Sometimes we're gonna come up with a topic, and it's gonna go, well, I've been researching this for a long time. I've been living it for years and years. I've written a book about, like, of course, I'm gonna be the one to have more to talk about,
Yeah.
But I do want your feedback. I mean, I want you talking all the time.
For sure.
Okay, so we're gonna go a little deeper here. I also want you to know there's no right or wrong when you take action, but you have to take action. That's the thing. And if you go back to your purpose, you'll find out, okay, I've got a purpose. Now, how do I get there? How do I get to this goal or this dream that I have? Well, the only way to know is to move forward. The only way to know is to try. If you don't try, I guarantee you it doesn't work out. Because you never put a foot forward. So this idea of taking action and having the being courageous enough, having the courage to take action, is so vital to your success. It's really everything. I mean, if you don't take massive, determined action, there is no way you'll ever reach next level success. And in anything that's even like cookie cutter success, and I mean cookie cutter like there's a really defined path. Because a lot of times in the arts and things that people really want to be doing, that they find their passion in, their hobbies, like a lot of those things, like playing sports at an elite level and any kind of an art form and doing that professionally, those things don't necessarily have a very defined path. But something like becoming a doctor or a lawyer or any other, like, I don't know, space engineer, there's a very specific path that you would take. But don't kid yourself. It takes determined action, massive determined action, and they make you do it. They force you to do it. If you don't do it, you don't pass. That's how success works. Period. Massive determined action. No excuses. You find a way. And if you step forward and you're wrong, admit it immediately with humility, with a smile on your face. I screwed up. That was the wrong way to go. Now you know which way not to go. That's a win that you just won. Boom. Now try again. But if you never try because you were afraid of that first step, you were afraid of moving in the wrong direction and admitting that you were wrong, then you go nowhere. and you look back 20 years from now and you're like, I regret that I didn't take the first step, that I didn't actually try, that I didn't show up for the class.
Ooh.
We're in a time when excuses are everybody has an excuse not to do anything right now. Everybody has the excuse.
Oh yeah.
We're getting money from the government. We're being told to stay home. There's a pandemic going on. So there's every excuse not to do anything. Don't fall for the trap. Please. If you can't do it the way you used to do it, find a new way to do it. Find a new way to fail. If it feels like you're moving just an inch, good. You can't make it a mile without moving the first inch.
Yeah.
You gotta be pushing forward. But even if you just inched every day, let's say you inched every day of quarantine, just an inch. Well, you're like, well, I'm not that far. You're right, you're not that far. You're inches. But you're like, 100 inches further than you were.
It's like a couple feet.
It's a couple feet. That's right. And and during that time, you became stronger. So then the inch that you used to move, now you might be able to move an entire foot in a day instead of an inch. And eventually, you're just running. Say that?
I was just saying because you raised your floor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got stronger is what happened.
Yeah.
Because you don't get stronger without failure.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting it wrong, you don't get stronger. Action is the foundational key to all success. That's Pablo Picasso. Action is the foundational key to all success. One of the greatest artists and painters who ever lived. Action. Dude's a legend. Will be remembered forever because he took action and picked up the paintbrush.
Yeah.
Because he had the guts and the courage to pick up the paintbrush and do it wrong. And create a new style of art that was different.
That was my favorite type of art in art class.
Picasso?
Yeah.
Why?
Because everything's so, like, out of the ordinary on purpose. So I'm not a good artist. I'm not good at drawing. I never was, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I would always, like, get terrible grades on my art projects, even though I tried, because I just wasn't a good artist. And with the Picasso projects, like, you're doing, like, deformed faces and stuff, which I had always been drawing that way. So then it just, like, got to lean into being bad.
That's funny.
And then add some color to it, and it was fun. It was cool.
So you might have missed the point, then, of Picasso. Because here's the difference. Picasso already drew perfect. Already, not perfect, but already knew how to draw a beautiful face.
Oh, yeah.
And could draw a hand and whatnot. And then found, now how do I do it in such a way that's simpler, in such a way that's different, in such a way that's gonna make you feel something different, right? Because you're lying to yourself when you say this out loud. It's funny. You don't realize it. And this is what I'm talking about. We have to admit that we lie to ourselves and then be okay with it and go, oh yeah, I gotta stop doing that. You said, I tried. I would always try, but I never did a good thing because I wasn't a good artist. That's not true. It's not true. It's not because you weren't a good artist, because you didn't put the time in. Not really.
Well, yeah, because I didn't want to be an artist.
There you go. There you go. Because I didn't want. That's different. You saying because I wasn't a good artist is different than I didn't want to be a good artist. And that, I guess I'm just saying, be careful with your wording, because when you say it out loud, you say to yourself, you identify with the idea of I'm not a good artist. That's not true. That is not true. It is you didn't decide to become a good artist, but you're fully capable. If you dropped everything today and spent 12 hours a day on just art,
yeah,
you would still not be great in 2 years.
Yeah.
But you'd be pretty good. You'd be a pretty good artist in 2 years. And in 10 years, if you did it every day, you'd be a great artist, and that would be you're living, guaranteed.
Sure.
So that's the cool thing. Like, that's the story. When we start to tell ourselves the story of our lives, we decide, what do we want?
Mm-hmm.
And we take massive action toward that thing. You decided you wanted to become a part of this place.
Yeah.
We brought you in. It's been hard. It will continue to be hard. It will get harder. I kept telling you this. But the more action you take, the more you commit, the more you dedicate, you're not going to feel it day over day. You will not see it. You will not feel it. It will be frustrating. But if you learn to get excited about that instead of frustrated, if you learn to like acknowledge the inches, you're going to continue to year over year just blow your own expectations, and you'll blow your mind. You're going to be like, how did I do this? How am I who I am? It's crazy what I've accomplished. And I know you already feel that way, but you can keep feeling that way year over year over year.
For sure.
It's so cool.
Yeah. 100%.
Failure is success in progress. Failure is success in progress. Albert Einstein. The smartest people on the planet, the most successful people on the planet, understand this concept that you have to take action. You must be courageous enough to act. Change will never come in your life, in this world, unless you are willing to take action. Now, I talked about this idea of the urgent action, and we're going to end here, by the way. This is going to be the end of the show. There's this thing that happened last night, and we as a team took urgent action because we gathered together, made a decision, and we all went boom, and we accomplished so much in an hour. And then we have to hold ourselves accountable for like, hey, man, that's what you're capable of. Not that you have to do that all the time, but what if you did? Man. So stop making excuses about why you're not successful, because we know why you're not successful, because you're not working at that level with that kind of energy all day, every day. So can you get better? Yes. Cool. So what's harder? Urgent action or non-urgent action? And the answer is non-urgent action.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, I was teaching the course. I think we got home. What time do you think we got home? About 11:30?
Yeah.
Because we had to clean up, then we had to set up for the show, etc.
We get to.
Yes, we get to. So we get to clean up and we get to set up for the show. We're very excited about that. We get home about 11:30. I crawl into bed, put on a show for like 10 minutes, start to feel tired. Shouldn't do that, by the way. I don't recommend watching TV before bed, but I did. And I closed the computer, fell asleep. Alarm goes off at 4 o'clock. Guess what? I'm disappointed in myself because I set my alarm for 3 and I don't know what happened. And I kind of do know what happened. My phone started weirdly being quiet. It does this a couple times. I don't understand it, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. But I'm also going like, you know what? I'm done with the iPhone. I can't trust it.
Yeah.
But I'm up at 4. I got 3 hours of sleep, and I feel fine. But I'm a little disappointed, and I'm like, it takes a lot of effort to get out of bed because I had planned on my morning, and my mornings leading up to my knee surgery are going to be dedicated to sanding and finishing a big, massive table and 4 benches that are out in the backyard. And I started this project. And my wife, she said to me a few weeks ago, she's like, hey, maybe we should just cover that up and kind of put everything away. And I was like, babe, I'm going to finish it. And she's like, yeah, but, she didn't think I was going to finish it. And the truth is, and I told you this about school, the bench doesn't matter anymore, but what matters is that I finish and I do what I say I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And yes, we've been busy. Yes, things have come up. Yes, there have been distractions, but that does not give me an excuse for not finishing the job that I started, period. And that's my purpose. I believe that in myself. I hold myself to that standard. Mm-hmm. That drives me out of bed. So I urgently jumped out of bed, literally mad at myself for getting up an hour later. Even though it was 4 a.m., it's still not what I said I was going to do the night before to myself. But then I'm outside for 2.5 hours before the show, sanding, staining, and I feel really good because of it.
Yeah.
But the decision to walk outside was hard. As soon as I got going and I was listening to the Bible in my headphones and I was listening to motivation and I was just in the zone using my hands and filling my mind with positivity, I was thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to take action.
Yeah.
I had to take action to start the bench in the first place, but I have to take action every day. If I take action every day, that's what I told myself. I'm like, your morning is dedicated to this till it's done. Okay? If I take action every day, 2 hours a day, like today, you're not going to see much progress. It's there, but you won't see it. But 3 days from now, you'll see one of the benches done.
Yeah.
Because the hard part is the stuff people don't see. The easy part is the part people see.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes. And most people are comparing themselves. They compare what they do in the shadows to what other people put on their highlight reel. And that's why you feel like you're not good enough. Because you're comparing your mundane, day-to-day activities to somebody else's highlight reel on Instagram or TikTok. And if you judge yourself by that, you're never going to get anywhere. But if you look at someone's highlight reel and you go, man, how did they get to that highlight? Good for them. How can I model myself to better myself in that way? Then you're going to be successful. So understand that to take action, to take massive action, to make life urgent, to make the small things urgent, so everything becomes this thing where, like, I'm going to take action and accomplish this thing, that's where it's at. That's a mind game. It's a mind shift, and you have to work really, really hard at it. But if you do that, the rest of your life, I guarantee you, you're going to live in this place that is so euphoric, that is so exciting. You're never going to want to go back. All right, that's it. Have the courage to take action. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Mornings with Matt. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. Share our channel. It helps us put out this light-driven content. Thank you so much, Joey, producer Joey, for being on the show.
Of course.
You the man. Love you, bro.
Love you too, dog.
God bless everybody.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.